You're watching the Isaiah Factor Uncensored.
And welcome back to the second half hour of the Factor Uncensored. Now, police are sworn to protect our community. They come out and they help on the hardest days of our lives. But what about when they go home and are left alone with their thoughts? I spoke with the president of the Houston Police Officers Union about mental health within HPD ranks and around this country, and we have seen a large number of suicides among officers.
Joining us now for Police Week is Doug Griffith, who's the president of the Houston Police Officers Union. Doug, when we take a look at these numbers, since 2017, more than 800 law enforcement officers here in this country have taken their own lives. When we think about law enforcement officers, we think about deaths in the line of duty, but not suicide.
Yes, sir. There's a alarming trend that we've seen over the last couple of years, that we have more officers that commit suicide than are actually killed in the line of duty. It's a sad statistic, but it's one that we have to learn to deal with. I know many departments around the nation have started diving into the reasons behind it and, trying to get their officers help. Houston does a very good job of that, even though even just this year, we've lost 2 of our own to suicide. And it is a very sad situation that we're having to deal with this.
What are some of the issues, Doug, that police officers are going through that would lead them down this path?
Well, there's several different things we have to look at. One, personal issues. Just like every other person out there, we have issues that we have to deal with in our personal lives that transcend the job. Then you add the stresses of the job on top of that. And understand, as a law enforcement officer, we understand you're going to be involved in traumatic events. You are showing up on someone's worst day of their life. A homicide scene, a rape, an assault. We have to look at these victims in the eyes and, be honest with them sometimes that we may or may not be able to catch the person that did this to them. There's other times that we're having to deal with death and mayhem, and we have to kind of compartmentalize that. And it's tough to do for some people. Again, you take an officer that's been involved in a shooting. I have been involved in a shooting, and it is a traumatic experience. We do not take this job to hurt people. And when we have to do that in the line of duty, it's very difficult on your psyche to come back from that.
And Doug, I think a lot of people fail to realize just how rare it is for an officer to have to pull his gun, even though we see high-profile shootings on television and all of that. A lot of officers don't even pull out their gun because there's really no need in many instances, and when you do, it's traumatic.
Yes, sir. You take a look. Houston averages about 15 officer-involved shootings a year. So you spread that over your career, you may never have to discharge your weapon ever in your career. And in fact, 90% of the officers on the department never have to discharge their weapon. But you're still seeing the effects of crime in the streets. You're still having to go up to these incidents where a child has been abused, someone's been murdered, and you're dealing with the family at that point. And you've got to see how horrific people can treat other people. I mean, it's really sad when you think about the evil out there, and you're dealing with the worst of the worst a lot of times. You're going after a crook. Your emotions are high. There's just a whole lot of stresses that go into this job that people really don't realize. And that encapsulated with some of the personal issues that we can run into. We also have alcoholism issues. We have, codependency issues, just like the normal public does. And sometimes that gets to us and it overwhelms us, and our officers will take their own lives.
Do you guys, in some form, for the lack of a better term, or it may be the accurate term, have PTSD while working as a law enforcement officer?
Yes, sir. We've had more and more officers that have been diagnosed with PTSD. We even have one that's a national representative that wrote a book on it. And so we get it. We understand it. The department is doing what they can to help out the our union, the HPOU, has also started a peer assistance program. We got a bunch of our retirees in. We trained them. We had them properly trained to deal with mental health issues and officers in crisis. They can call those numbers. The city has started their own peer support. And we have a psychological services division that you can visit at any time that is free to our officers and our members.
Do you encourage officers who may be going through some of those programs to take a break from the streets, or what do they do in a situation where it's overwhelming and you don't want them out there with the public if they're trying to deal with some personal issues?
That is correct. And the department's been really helpful working with us on officers. Just over the past 2 years, I've gotten 6 separate officers into rehab facilities for alcohol dependency, another one in a mental health facility just to get him on the correct path, and he ended up resigning after that. Again, we want what's best for our officers, but we also want what's best for the community. If an officer is unfit to be on the streets, then we're going to do whatever we can to help them get the help that they need.
All right. Doug Griffith, president of the Houston Police Officers Union. It's a tough job out there. I don't think a lot of people realize just how tough it is. And it's just not a matter of going to a traffic scene or a crime scene. It takes a toll on you guys. And we want to thank you for what you do. And of course, this is Police Week, and we want to remember those officers who have been lost here in this country and right here in the city of Houston. Doug, thank you so much.